great morning. Welcome to the AM Power Call. My name is Coleman, and I am very excited and grateful to be before you today. You know, one of my favorite childhood actors uh, recently drowned, Malcolm Jamal Warner, and some of you guys may be familiar with who he was in terms of his character on The Cosby Show. His name was Theo. And I used to love watching that show. We're not going to talk about The Cosby Show today, but I used to love watching that show because it gave me an ideal of what uh, how could I say, how a functional family operated. I didn't grow up in a real functional family, guys. It was quite dysfunctional. Though my mom and my dad, they did the absolute best they could, and I love them dearly. But I became a fan of that show, and that's a whole nother conversation. And Theo, I was like, man, he has to dream life, as a teenager and everything, having a mom that's an attorney and a dad that's a freaking doctor. Well, anyway, in real life, this man was married. He had a daughter, and he was very well respected by his peers in the industry. And he drowned, I want to say he was 54, 55 years old. And, it really resonated with me in terms of how he passed, because I've just been talking to my kids about, you know, don't uh, you don't have to do everything you're invited to do, even if the whole team is doing it. Now, my children are athletes, so could you imagine them being on their teams and the whole team is doing something and they say, no, I don't want to do that? The type of pressure that would be. And oftentimes, guys, we get pressured to do things that really is not in our best interest. Now, Malcolm Jamal Warner, he drowned in the ocean, guys. He got sucked in by the tide. And I was having this conversation with my children like, hey, I don't know what y'all going to do, but I'm not jumping in the middle of anybody's ocean anymore. I remember the first time I did it, I came up like, dude, you were just in the jungle. You don't know if it's sharks or killer whales, or you just go jump in the ocean like we. And I thought about all of that. And then for my 44th birthday, I went to Cabo. They had the black flags on the beach, meaning the water is not safe to get in. And I remember, guys, I was taking a selfie on this rock. And all of a sudden, I get knocked off the rock. There were some little stones in front of the huge rock, and I'm sitting on a stone taking a selfie because it was full of green algae and everything. And I remember going, when it knocked me off the rock, I'm off the stone, I'm going all through the other rocks, and it's got me like I'm on a ride, guys. And I have my cell phone up, and I'm just kind of laughing. I'm like, oh man, this is so fun. Like, whoa. And little did I know that I could have been sucked into the ocean and lost my life like Theo. And so another point I want to make is outside, you don't have to do everything you see everybody else doing, no matter how fun it looks. And I'm not saying that's how fun it looks. I'm not saying that's what he was doing. He was just enjoying time with his family. But some things you just, want to stay shy of and pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the sign, because that black flag was an indication I didn't need to be anywhere near the water. So anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest. That is not really my topic of conversation for this morning, but I just wanted to shed some light on this gentleman in honor of him. From my understanding, didn't know him personally. He was a really great guy, great family man, and he passed so young. And so we don't know what's promised, guys. Tomorrow's not promised. The next hour's, next minute is not promised. So, it's just great to operate in the spirit of gratitude. But anyways, the AM Power Call, for those of you who this is your first time coming on the AM Power, it's always great to drop the city where you're from and just let us know, what city, what country. But also want to welcome you. This call is Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, where you hear from various different leaders on various different topics. But for whoever the leader may be and whatever the topic may be, it is someone and some information that is going to help you grow. And one of the things that I want to talk to you about today, which kind of could kind of tie in some of what I talked about this morning with Theo, is to pay attention. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, should you really decide that this is something you want to do and do on a high level. When I say something you want to do, I'm talking about vital health specifically, and also anything in life, network marketing, traditional business, guys, corporate career. Pay attention. And I'm saying to pay attention because there will always be an example of someone who is doing what it is you desire to do and getting the results you want to get. See, I thought about this morning. If I had all the answers, I will have all the results. And sometimes you can have a lot of the answers and you can get results. And sometimes you get knocked down and you got to do it all over again. I put up a post this morning. I said, if you think trying is hard, I said, no, I said, if you think starting over is hard, wait until you get the check for doing nothing. So, everything starts in the mind, guys, how we see things, right? How we see ourselves, because how we see ourselves is how other people see us. And nobody even told me this as a kid, but growing up, I became one of the biggest copycats that I knew. Now, I was copying without permission, but what I would see was people getting results and I would just model them. And a lot of times they wouldn't even know I was modeling them. But I said in my mind, well, man, if they can do it, I can do it too. And I thank God that I had that type of mentality growing up, because this is how I really became the man that I am today. I learned what not to do from watching people. I learned what to do from watching people. I learned what to do more of or even less of the things that I was already doing. And that's really how Coleman started becoming into himself. Even now, my biggest passions, guys, some of my biggest passions in life, for instance, personal development, mindset training. I mean, I remember in 2008, I was introduced to multi-level marketing. And I didn't know about the business or the world of personal development in terms of the books, the audios, the seminars, the workshops. I had no idea about any of that. And I was maybe 32, 33 years old at that time. However, 2 years prior to network marketing, I was in federal prison where I was getting personal development. I just didn't know that's what it was called, but I was reading. I was reading books on business. My ex-wife at the time would send me books, spiritual books and business books and just straight personal development books. And I didn't know that's what they were called, but I would read them. And I just started looking for books in the library in Leavenworth, and I started just topics and subjects that just stood out to me. And a lot of what I was reading, I found out that I embodied a lot of the information that they were talking about, but I didn't know that I was embodying that information. I didn't know these are some of the principles I've been practicing since I was a kid, like daydreaming, living in my imagination, playing make-believe, and seeing myself in a future way far above and beyond some of the hellish situations and environments that I lived in. I didn't know this. And I kept reading it. Basically, guys, the short version of the story is by the time I got out, I had been in personal development university, spiritual development. I took Bible hermeneutics and not Nazarene Bible College when I was in federal prison, and actually got a credit. I got college credit for it. I got a B. Learned how to study the Bible in Greek and Hebrew. I started reading a lot of personal development books that one of them called The Millionaire Next Door. I mean, things that I just stuck in my mind, like most wealthy people, children go to public school. So if you hard on yourself because your kids are not in private, wealthy people would tell you that they believe that the taxes is the tuition. And this is why they live in certain areas where they're in a certain tax bracket, because the curriculum is going to be at a certain level and they feel confident their children will get the greatest education that they can get socially and affordably. Remember the TV show 90210? Well, 90210 was a high school in Beverly Hills and it was public. What's my point, guys? My point is reading is fundamental. Personal development is vital. Name of our company is Vital Health, right? And we're talking about nutrition and adaptogens and nanotechnology and all of this great stuff. But so is the mind. Your mindset is vital. So if you have the mindset like, oh, I'm grown, I'm not going to let another grown person tell me what to do. I've been doing this. I know how to do this. I got it. Like, okay, well, you got all the answers. If you figured it all out, then we should be watching and listening to you and not the other way around. And I'm not saying this out of arrogance. I'm saying that it's okay to be a copycat as long as you're copying the right cat. See, the people who are the most successful in life and have the most freedom in life have figured out how to duplicate something or someone. And when they're really in a level of pinnacle leadership, because there's 5 levels of leadership, and maybe on my next AM Power call, I'll talk about the 5 levels of leadership, but the highest level of leadership is called pinnacle leadership. Okay. And that's when people follow you, not just because of your position. Okay. Not just because of your name, not just because of your status. They follow you because of your results, because of your integrity, because of your passion, because of your vision. Okay. And so, saying all of that to say, someone at that pinnacle leadership level also is someone that you will see creating duplication, whether they own McDonald's franchises and are opening them up all over the country, and that's the duplication at its finest, or whether they're a top earner and industry leader in direct sales and network marketing. If you do not believe me, okay, check your own company out and look at the pinnacle leadership like David Nieves, VP of sales for the company. This gentleman has put together a whole book on leadership. And as a matter of fact, let me see, I have here. Show you this. I have a different, give them all away. Nope, I didn't. See, I've got several copies. Like to give these to my new leaders when they start up because it is absolutely amazing. And it's called the Success System. It's called the Success System. Now, not taking anything away from Brother David. He's a phenomenal gentleman. He's an incredible leader, and he is the VP of sales for a very good reason. But I've learned this. I've learned this. So why would you give it away, Demond? Why would you promote it? If you know it, why don't you just do it? Well, we don't get paid really for being the trainer in Vital Health. We get paid for moving products, moving people and moving products. Okay. So if I wanted to be the trainer, okay, I would make the type of impact that I really have a desire to make in this company, guys. From a people and a volume monetary standpoint, because I'm only one person. But if I can pass this information out into the field, if I could get this in the hands of my leaders and they can get it in the hands of their leaders and their leaders and their leaders, well, we can train ourselves. Again, reading is fundamental. Everything you really need to do in terms of the action steps, the physical action steps, are all in the success system. It's here, right? And this is why you won't hear me really come on these type of training calls, guys, that like the AM Power and really talk about how to do a 3-way call, how to no, guys, no. For me, my passion, where I know where the rubber meets the road, this is the rubber and the road is your mind, because your mind takes you where it is you really want to go, but you need a vehicle, and that's the rubber. That's the information. So when the rubber meets the road, guys, you take off. And you need both, right? What's a road without the rubber? And what's the rubber without a road? And so when you add the mindset, how you think, how you see yourself, your ability to duplicate and follow the leader, because that's all being a copycat really is all about. It's about following the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader, guys. And it's tough for a lot of people to do this because you've been having to take care of yourself. You've been so independent. You figured it out to the level that you are today. And so I get it. I get it. Oh, I don't need them to tell me how to. Oh, I don't need to tell them to tell me how. Because I remember my first year in network marketing. Yes, system, Anarita. Yeah, system. Save yourself time, energy, and money. It's the acronym for system. So here it is, my first year in network marketing. I didn't get involved to get rich. I didn't get involved to build a team. I didn't get involved to do anything but to make some extra money. And I found a product that worked. That's all it was. I started telling it to sharing it with my clients, telling my clients about it. I'm selling these products. And guys, and for the record, my first year in network marketing, I sold girdles. So if you think selling adaptogens are hard, if you think selling plant-based nutrition is hard, imagine selling underwear. What? Man, I'm sorry. I got my clients in my chair, ladies coming out to sit and get their hair done. I got the fellas sitting in my chair coming to get a haircut because I'm a master barber and hairstylist by trade. Okay. And so if it was a woman, I'm showing the catalog for her. If it was a man, I'm showing the catalog for his woman, man. Like, look how your lady could look. And I'm like, ladies, look how you could look for your man. I'm working it, guys. I'm working it. Okay. So I'm making this retail money, selling the product. And oh boy, just like those of you who've never done network marketing before, you're taking advantage of an influencer bonus. You're like, this is cheating. This is unreal. There is no way I'm making this much money on one freaking product. And so you just keep doing it. You just keep doing it, right? And so my sponsor lived in Houston, ironically, where I live now. I was living in Atlanta, Georgia. And she kept telling me, I met her at a hair show. And so there was a meeting starting in Atlanta. And she kept telling me, I need to go to the meeting, I need to go to the meeting. And I'm thinking to myself, to this lady, I don't need you to tell me how to sell. They can't, what they going to teach me how to sell? I just went to prison for over 10,000 pounds of marijuana, 5 tons. Like I've been selling since I've been a kid, from knocking on doors, cutting grass, raking leaves, shoveling snow, from freaking goodness, what else did I sell? Candy in junior high school, real estate investing, mortgage lending. Like I'm doing all these things, and you're gonna teach me how to sell. I don't have time, because now I got out of prison, the real estate market crashed, couldn't get back into that. Okay, now what I went to prison for, obviously, but that market crashed. So I found myself back behind the chair cutting and styling hair. I knew there wasn't going to be enough income for me and my family. So I started selling hair care products. Selling those hair care products is how I met the lady at the Bronner Brothers Hair Show that introduced me to my first network marketing company. She had a booth, hint, hint, clue, clue, vending works. She had a booth at that event, guys. And I came over to her booth, saw what she was doing. Immediately, I saw the concept. I got started and I started selling the product, because that's what Demond does, right? And for those of you saying, yeah, that's why he's so good. He just sells. He's got the gift of gab. I can see it. And all you're doing now is talking yourself out of it. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. No, guys. Let me give you the definition of sales, okay? Sales is just exposing the value. That's all sales is. And when you show, and let me say this, and money is only an obstacle in the absence of value. So how much value can you show? How much value can you show, guys? That's all sales is. It's showing the value of something. And money is only an obstacle in the absence of value. So I just, as a kid, became really good at showing the value. I would do people's yards for free to show the value, because now the money is not an obstacle, right? I would give some kids free packs of gum at the school. In the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, I'm selling candy in school. I would give them some free, give them a little taste of that sugar early in the morning. Yeah, because by lunch, you're going to be seeing me. When I got to Atlanta, I had to start over from scratch. and rebuilding my life after getting out of prison, I would give away free haircuts, free hairstyles. Why? I'm showing the value. This is why the influencer program is so amazing, because you get the products for manufacturing pricing. Don't play with me. Don't get me hyped and started this morning. You're getting the Vital Health products at manufacturing costs through the influencer bonus. So yes, you can give something away. You can give something away. Typically, I wouldn't think that a multivitamin would be a feeling, like a feel product, because you take multivitamin to be preventative in your health, right? You're being proactive. So you take the multivitamin in your body what it needs, so you don't need taking the medications later, right? Well, with RV Daily multivitamin, liquid multivitamin, my dad told me, man, I'm not feeling like I need a nap in the middle of the day. And here it is. I'm talking to more and more people who are using the V Daily. They're like, man, I can feel. So yes, you can give away a whole of the V Daily when you do this right. Money is only an obstacle in the absence of value. So if you see top earners and leaders on these Zooms, guys, talking about sampling and giving away product, ding, light bulb goes off. If you hear a leader on these Zooms and calls talk about how they don't miss the opportunity Zooms, even though they know how to give the presentation, they're still listening in to hear the presentation, because repetition is the mother of all learning. And listen, forgive me, Ethan, if you're on the AM Power this morning, man, I meant to hit you last night after the Zoom. Man, you laid it out. Guys, give it up. Show some love for Ethan Clements. Absolutely diamond here with Vital Health. Did the business overview last night. And when I say just knocked it out the park, man. And see, as I listen to different leaders, I pick up different things, different like jokes. I'm big on listening for the jokes, because if y'all respond well enough, you gonna hear me say that joke on my next opportunity. So I'm a cat. But nobody has DeMond Coleman's tonality. Nobody has DeMond Coleman's energy. Nobody has DeMond Coleman's face. They may have these little big old ears I have, but outside of that, no, guys, I'm going to be me, but I can take the information from others. I don't have to put an exact post up of a Tanya or a James or a Brooke, but I can get some little sound bites from let me get a little sound bite here, let me get a little sound bite there. That's how musicians make music, guys. They mix and they remix and they put stuff together that other legendary artists have done in the past. That's why a lot of the new music, it ain't really new at all. They call it sampling. See, in the music industry, they call it sampling. I'm going to sample this music. Oh, and when they sample, oh, they got to pay. They got to pay. But in our industry, we sample, but not in the sense of how they're doing it. We duplicate. So how they're sampling other artists and music and they're putting it all together. We're duplicating other leaders, other top earners, and we're putting them all together, and we add it to us and who we authentically are to ourselves, being true to us, and we put the information, the skill set out into the marketplace, guys. It's the mind that's stopping you from having that next level of success. It's the mind, guys. And the mind is the master maker that molds and makes, meaning it shapes, it creates. And man is mind. And forevermore, he takes the tool of thought and shapes what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret and it comes to pass. His environment is but his looking glass. Yes, guys, this is our environment. This is our looking glass. And through this environment and this looking glass, we can start to shape, make, and mold. Guys, I've been thinking about that freaking brand new Escalade so much. I had a dream about it. And I had a dream. I owned it. I was in it. And I'm in St. Louis in my hometown. And my buddies all standing around it. He like, Cadillac DeMond. Yes. I don't know about y'all, and I'm not bragging anything, but I've been driving nice cars since I've been driving. Okay. I love nice cars. I love big, beautiful homes. I love taking my kids on vacation and don't have a budget. I love being able to put a check in the mail or send a Zelle to my mom or my dad or my siblings or something for my nieces or my nephews. I love being able to bless a stranger with a bag. They ain't even see it coming. They have no idea why they're getting it from me. I love it. I freaking love it. And this is why I'm a copycat, because I want results. I want to be able to model the men and the women that I see do it on the highest level, because my thought process is if God can do it for them, he can definitely do it for me. Pay attention. Guys, my name is Coleman. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be before you this morning. Thanks to all of our leadership, Alex Reynoso, and all of the founders. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Daniel West. Thank you, James Lindhart. Thank you, Brooke Nieves. Thank you, freaking David Nieves. Thanks, Miles and Heidi, and all the other leaders who come on this platform and serve every single day. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You guys have a great day, and God bless.